My thesis, called Unconventional Rome, is a project for a screenplay for a short film. First of all, a screenplay can be adapted, so based, for example, on a novel, or original, so created by a screenwriter who often corresponds to the director. The writing of a screenplay is divided in 6 stages: the concept, the synopsis, the character analysis, the treatment, the outline, and the script. The first stage, that of the concept, focuses on outlining what to show and how to show it. The concept is always supported by a main character on who the story is based. Once the concept is set, it shapes into the next stage, the synopsis, that is, the summary of the story and the guidelines of the plot. Next step is that of creating the characters. The characters must be described in full details. They must be illustrated not only in their physical appearance, but also in their emotive and character traits. It is described the life of the characters from their birth to the development of the story. It is like creating a careful identity card of the character. It will be also support for the actor that will perform the role, in order to get into the character in a deeper and more personal way. Next stage is the treatment. It is not fundamental, especially for long films, because it takes a lot of time. It can be defined as the book of the long or short film. It is the detailed tale of the story, including the description of feelings, sensations, and thought of the characters. Sometimes it also provides for dialogues between characters. The information described in the treatment not necessarily will be displayed in the video. Indeed, this can be seen as the most creative stage, because it has no limits. After putting in writing the treatment, it's time to the outline, that consists in listing chronologically the scenes, also describing what happens in each of these. Sometimes it can be sustained with a storyboard, that is a series of illustrations that show the framings of the scenes as they will appear on the screen. This stage is very important because it is necessary to create balance in the allocation of the scenes and to manage the filmic time, which is clearly shorter than real time. This step will serve as support for the next stage, the script. The script is the text that the director of the film will read, and it tells in a filmic way the story. It describes all aspects that will appear in the video. It is the most complex stage, because all the images to be shown must be translated into words. A well-done screenplay should leave no doubts on what you want to show. The script includes all directions regarding scenic design, locations, and illumination. It also includes character dialogues with their intentions, expressions, and gestures. Sometimes it also provides for recommendation on framing or which equipment to use, as for example a close-up or drone for aerial shot. By taking into account my project Unconventional Rome, I followed all the proceedings previously listed. The concept stems from the idea of sponsoring Rome in a more complete way. Indeed, very often, when I watch films or videos on my city, it was always shown with its more famous monuments and places, such as the Colosseum or the Trevi Fountain, which, in my opinion, are not to be missed. But I have been living in Rome for all of my life, and I know places as beautiful as the most famous, which often remains hidden. Then the idea of making the main character not a person, but the city itself. I chose a short film rather than a documentary because I would like to tell personal stories that connect Romans with their city. So the idea of telling my city from 2 different points of view, that of the tourist that sees it for the first time and that of the Romans that live it every day. In order to create my project, I also use physical characters as a framework of the story. In Unconventional Rome, there are 3: a US couple in their 30s, Paul and Kelly, at the first visit of Rome, and Matteo, a Roman boy, student of architecture, who is in love with his city. The story tells about the couple that, at their first day in Rome, separate, due to an argument on how to spend the day. Paul meets by chance Matteo, who proposes him to spend the day together, to show him Rome as Romans see it. Meanwhile, Kelly goes on her visit with a traditional but still surprising itinerary. The two boys, together on Matteo's scooter, see, as the title suggests, less conventional places, such as the optical effect in Via Picconomini or the Monte dei Cocci. The story is also supported by the delicious Roman cuisine. The couple meets again in the evening. They are not angry anymore. On the contrary, they are glad to see each other, and also because they have spent exactly the day they wished. The most important character for my goal is Matteo, the Roman boy who on his scooter leads Paul on around the city to let him see the less famous places serves as pawn to show the places I wanted to display. Even when Matteo brings Paul in the most famous spots, he tries to surprise him by telling him both personal and not stories about them. The message that the short film will convey is not a condemn to those who only visit the most famous places, but actually a stimulus for deepening the knowing, for example, by leaving the tourist guides and getting lost in one of the most beautiful cities of the world.